So in this video we're going to talk about 8 or 9 things, 8 or 9 shocking facts and problems that we've faced in moving to Spain and staying in Spain, working in Spain, starting a business in Spain.
Starting a new life in Spain.
Starting a new life in Spain. Let's go back to the beginning. First of all, go and grab a coffee, pause the video, grab a coffee, grab a cup of tea, vodka and coke or a glass of wine, and then sit down and enjoy the video.
So as you know, we moved to Spain pre-Brexit, it was before Brexit, so we were able to get our residencies. That's made everything easier. It is more difficult now if you're thinking about moving to Spain and you're of a working age, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah, could do that in another video.
We decided beginning of 2020
Yes.
that, do you know what, everything was going on in the world at that time, we're going to move to Spain, let's just do it. House went on the market, sold the house, blah blah blah. Came here with the idea to set up the business that Barry already had existing in Edinburgh, which was cleaning stone floors. What could go wrong? So that was the plan.
That was the plan.
Come out.
But
we were
first of
always
all,
going to be self-employed. We
yeah.
always wanted to work.
But let's get back to the selling everything. We basically sold
pretty much
everything that we owned, and then packed up what we needed.
The bare essentials.
And drove to Spain. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put the video on at the end. But we basically sold everything that we owned, and there was one time Karen said, "You'll never be able to sell this," and I said,
"Watch me."
Watch me. I bet you £5.
What reason else going to buy them?
And
you
then
sold an old pair of my hiking boots, and someone bought them.
Yeah, and then within about 2 hours, I had somebody buying things. So Facebook Marketplace is great for selling your entire life belongings, and it's a great way of decluttering.
It is.
But let's get back to the video.
Yes.
So
that was our plan initially.
yes,
As you know, 2020, what was meant to be a few weeks, a few months, turned into 2 years, and the restrictions still haven't completely disappeared yet, not in Spain anyway. However, we got here, we gave it a good go. We rocked up in Playa Flamenca, which we do love.
We still love,
it's just too quiet for us though.
Quiet. I mean, we like to. We're still of working age. It's a great place if you want to retire. We'll talk about Playa Flamenca in another video, but let's stick to the core one about moving to Spain.
As in Spain, people tend to, with work, that kind of business that we were trying to set up, it's very much word of mouth. And if you know people and people know you, so if you're going to come over to Spain and try and set up a business like that, be prepared to get to go know people, talk to people, put the word out there, because people don't go into Google and look for floor cleaning, oh, I'll phone them. They want recommendations. They want oh, do you know someone that does this? Do you know someone? I know someone. Yeah. It's just the way it works, and you have to put in the legwork and the effort. You've got to be prepared to do that. What happened with us was
we'd always planned on being self-employed in Spain, and a lot of people go on about the cost, etc., etc. But for us, certain costs are outweighed by lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now I've ran my own businesses back in the UK, so I always knew this is where the YouTube channel kind of comes into play. I've always worked with YouTube. I use YouTube for marketing and for my businesses from 2012. I stumbled across YouTube. Well, I seen other businesses using it, and I used it in a completely different way, which helped massively grow my businesses back in the UK.
Generate customer leads and actual paying customers. It's great.
So I did know a bit about YouTube before we started this channel. Let's put that out there now.
Yeah, it was a bit of a hobby that has now turned into an actual living.
Yes.
But
so
anyway, we digress.
Yes, I am registered in Spain as
a YouTuber.
I'm
an independent contractor.
Yes.
I'm like administration.
Due to the fact that the majority of my income comes from YouTube, I do have other channels. People that know me that maybe drink in certain bars know of one channel that I have. I do have 2 or 3 channels that I do stuff on, and it works out really well. So anyway,
how did we get to coming out to clean stone floors to you being a YouTuber?
Yes, it was kind of, well, the harsh reality is
where we lived had a big impact.
Yes.
Because of the restrictions that were in place. Nobody was travelling, nobody was doing that.
Yeah.
We didn't really think it would go on as long as it did. We gave ourselves a year.
Yeah.
And we said, if we can't make this work in a year, we'll be back to the UK. And we
Yeah.
saw people that came here at the same time as us, who'd already left.
Yeah,
This was like
people...
6 months in, 9 months in. We got to the point where we realised that where we were living, it was 90% holiday homes and not permanent residents. That was a huge difficulty that we faced.
Things were getting a bit
difficult. Desperate, not desperate.
No, not desperate. It was.
But we gave ourselves a new date, and we'd said we were coming up for this 1 year. We were about 3 months to go, and we said, we've got 3 months. If we don't turn this around, start generating an income, get the business going, or find work.
Basically, what I did do when we first got here, I built the website for Costa Blanca Floor Care. Yeah. I managed to rank that. Page 1 on Google, page 1 on YouTube,
and we were getting customers,
and we were getting customers, and it wasn't enough.
And it's because of the lack of people.
If the business had been back in the UK and we had moved to a different town in the UK and it did the exact same, there's no disputing the fact that it would have been a success, due to the fact that 90% of the area is holiday homes and people just...
Nobody was travelling.
It had a massive impact on our income.
Anybody else, I think, with a bit of common sense would have gone, do you know what, the world is just like in turmoil at the moment, let's just go back and cut our losses and that. But we were determined, weren't we? We wanted to live here, and there was no way we were going to give in. We just dug our heels in.
And
it was
we were doing this YouTube channel, and before we moved,
keeping us out of trouble, really.
Yeah,
and it
was helping us
when there was nothing else to do.
And it was helping us promote restaurants and things that were still trying to stay open.
Yeah, and it was really good.
By no means are we restaurant reviewers. All we were trying to do was help the restaurants, and a lot of restaurants were really thankful, and a lot of people were still going into restaurants.
Like some, nice friends.
We made lots of new friends.
It was really good.
So this YouTube channel has been a massive saving for us.
Yeah.
And then there was the point where, I did say, I give Karen an exact month that this YouTube channel would be monetised, and it happened exactly within the day that I said it was happening. And then we had a kind of viral video, and that was a bit pre-planned, that video. The script was pre-planned and everything.
But when that started to take off, that was the catalyst for you to then go, you know what, the Stone Floors isn't busy enough, I'm going to concentrate on YouTube now. And you started to push all your other channels and build that up, and it's been building up. Great. I'd said, right, the floor care's not worked out.
No.
I need to work. I need to find a job.
Yeah.
So there's nothing exciting to that, really. I registered on Indeed, Glassdoor.com, that kind of thing, revamped my CV. I concentrated my search on remote work, English-speaking jobs in Spain, and they do exist. For example, recently, just last month, there was a call centre in Torrevieja, which is a travel agent, and they were specifically looking for native English speakers to work in their call centre. So these jobs, don't fly, do exist. It's just a case of looking. I signed up for the daily emails, I checked the websites every day, I saw a job that fitted it, I read the job description, I thought, I can do that. I can do that. Sent in, did my CV. They wanted a cover letter. They were very specific about that, so it had to be a killer cover letter. Did that, shouted you through and said, go and have a look at this. What do you think? And you went, send it. Send it off in a plan.
I knew straight away that you would get the job.
I didn't think
I would
be able to. I didn't think I'd hear back or anything, but I did. And it was all done remotely. It was quite interesting. I was interviewed over Zoom, like up by the church bells there. So I applied for it. It's just the normal process that you go through. I was interviewed, a couple of weeks later they'd got in touch and said, are you still interested in this role? Can we have a quick chat about some things? They needed to know like the specs of my laptop, that sort of stuff. And for references, they got my references, I got a job offer. I am an independent contractor, and that's how a lot of companies work now.
We are both self-employed, we are both autonomous
and registered on the Spanish system in Spain. I had high hopes of setting up a little virtual admin business, which didn't really take off. But I am still self-employed. I'm an independent contractor. The reason for that is you'll get companies who employ people all over the world in different countries. It's up to you to pay the tax, because if they don't have a Spanish base, they can't pay you like as a Spanish employee or not. I work for a company that are based in New Zealand. So you register as self-employed, autonomous, you're responsible for paying your own tax, and everything is done remotely.
Yeah.
I have a contract, I get holiday pay, I get sick pay, and if I work a public holiday in Spain, I get a day back in lieu. You know, it's like a normal job. I work for a software company, so everything's online. It's compliance team, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm on a laptop all the time. If you work in I used to be a finance officer back in Scotland, so you know it's something completely different. A lot of the technical stuff I had to kind of learn as I went along on the job, but most of it is communicating with their customers via email. Yeah, it's quite good.
Yes. So, as well as doing YouTube, and it got to the beginning of this year, and I've worked on my feet for 20 years,
I know.
and it was working from home is all fine and good, but when you've been physically active for the last 10 years especially,
Yes. To do not
to
much.
doing well, it's not
much
active work. So I decided to look for a part-time job around this
To
area.
top up the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just to get, and what
I
it was
know.
really to get me out of the house as
Get
well.
out the house, meeting people, that
Yeah.
kind of thing as well.
So there was a job come up with a local company.
My job's full time, by
Yeah.
the way. It's a 40-hour week, 5 days a week. So
Yeah, I can do my
that's
job in about
4 hours.
a week. Yeah, so there was a job came up for a local company, and if you're in this area, you're probably held on Sunshine Radio, which is C&G Fabrication,
They make windows and doors.
windows and doors.
Yeah.
So I do sales for them. A lot of people already know that
I know.
because I've rocked up to your door and they've went,
Give you a quote and they've gone,
"Oh
I
my
know you."
god, it's Barry from YouTube." I go, "Yep."
Which is quite
So
funny.
we have kind of kept that under wraps. I do work for C&G on a sort of part-time basis.
Yeah.
I am
So you've
self-employed.
Kind of got 2 part-time jobs,
Yeah.
both self-employed,
Yep.
and I've got a full-time job self-employed as well. The reason I'm self-employed is because I'm an independent
Yeah.
contractor. The company I work for is outside of Spain.
Yes. So if you are looking for windows and doors, look out for a video on that, because I'm going to be talking about how people that want to buy property in Spain, or if you already have property in Spain,
Yeah. What
how
to look out for.
and how you could be saving thousands when you go to buy a property.
Yes.
Because it's one thing that estate agents never talk about that they really should, and it could really save you thousands on buying a property.
That's about it. That's where we're at. When you work as autonomous in Spain, the autonomous is basically the payment you make every month for your social security. It's kind of like your national insurance payment. Covers your state pension, your access to public health care, that kind of thing. Your tax is separate, you pay your tax separately. So we have an accountant that does the tax for us.
Yep.
Autonomous, once you're registered and go on the system, it just comes out as a direct debit out of your bank every month. In Spain at the moment, if you're autonomous, it doesn't kind of matter how much you earn, everybody pays the same basic autonomous
It is
payment,
changing
social
next year.
security, that's what I'm getting to. At the moment, everybody pays the same. You might have, say you've got a month and your income's down, or you've been sick, it doesn't matter, you still have to make that payment. Spain are changing that to try and make the system a little bit more fair, particularly more fair for people on lower incomes. So it's going to be more of a tiered system. So you've got brackets, you know, up, and then it'll jump up and your payments are higher, so people that earn more will pay more. Been speaking to a couple of people that I know that are self-employed out here as well, you know, and it's going to affect people, but it is what it is. I don't mind the tax. A lot of people complain
I don't
about
mind
being
it.
autonomous. I don't
See-
mind it. At the end of the day, the public health care is great. Obviously, it depends what area you're in. Some hospitals are better than others. Waiting times are better, but as a general rule, you know, we know someone who's had dealings with a hospital a lot lately, you know, and it's been great, been absolutely fantastic. Your state pension in Spain is higher than the UK because, you know, once you've paid into the UK state pension for X amount of years, I think it's 25 or 30 years, you're entitled to the state pension anyway, the full one. You pay it into it in Spain up until we retired, we get the Spanish state pension as well. So it's happy days. You know, top
That is
that up
it.
with your private pensions and whatnot. It's definitely worth it. I don't mind. I'm not paying that much more tax here than I did in the UK, if I'm completely honest. It's not a little. It is a little bit more. It's going to go up again next year,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's worth it. I think definitely.
Would you move to
What you
Spain
get out of the end of it.
now?
Me?
Would you do it all over again?
Yes, 100%. And I'm glad we did it before Brexit because it's so much more difficult
A lot
now.
of there is people been asking how easy is it to move to Spain now.
It is possible.
It is possible. It's possible if you've got £500,000 in
Yeah.
property, which is
But if
out
you
with
want
most
to come out and work,
people working age. If you're of
it's
working
far
age,
more difficult.
it's
You can't
far
just
more difficult.
can't rock up from the UK and get a summer job in a pub anymore.
No.
Those days are gone. You
Yeah.
can't do it. If you don't have your residence and your paperwork, you're not going to be working. So it is a lot more difficult. It's very difficult to get a job offer from a Spanish company because they would have to prove that there's not a
Spanish person that can do that job.
someone who's resident and living here already. So it is a lot more complicated.
It is.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. If you have your Spanish residency already, there is lots of jobs out there.
There is. Just look
Right,
on the
there's
websites.
just
Things
go
like
on-
Indeed.com. They all
Indeed.com.
advertise.
But even up in, I'm in one of the jobs pages for Benidorm,
Yeah.
and I still see
You see
lots of
that's on
bars and
Facebook,
you
yeah.
know, on Facebook. There's lots of bars, lots of estate agents and everything looking
They're always
for
looking at things.
for
We've
people.
seen a steady increase. Me,
What I will
particular-
say
carry on.
about people that are looking for jobs, if you really want to live the Spanish lifestyle and if you want to live in Spain, you need to be able to speak Spanish.
Yeah, you've got to
You
learn
know,
the language.
and it's the same if you were back in the UK.
It is.
People that come to the UK, they want a job, they have to learn to speak English.
That's why I was really lucky finding the job that I did, because I focused specifically English-speaking jobs in Spain. Because my Spanish at that point, I didn't have any. I wasn't taking lessons at that time.
The fact that your
So-
company is based in
It's New Zealand.
New Zealand,
They've
yeah.
got people all over the world though that cover.
think what 2020 has done to the world is
It's changed the way everybody works.
yes, it's changed the way that everyone
More
works.
people work at home, more people work remotely.
Yeah.
There
and
are countries, if you're young, quite young, and you fancy travelling and you work remotely, you should look at some countries that have digital nomad visas where you
Yeah.
can go and work. Spain talked about it.
And it's not
years
just-
ago.
it's not-
nothing came of it,
Yeah.
but it might in Spain.
Well,
it
they're
might.
on about it that it might come in the end of this year.
Maybe.
Well, it's not even if you're young. If you're of any working age,
That's what I mean. It's
there's
not
lots
young.
of
We're not young.
No, most definitely not. If you have the skills, if you have any type of skills at all, there's lots of ways that you can make money online. There's lots of ways that you can start your own training course. Online education is one of the biggest platforms in the world at this moment. You know, so there's
And
lots
of
of
companies are recruiting, as I say,
Yeah.
recently. Call centre in Torrevieja. Prior to that, there was, I think it was an insurance company up in Elche. They had a call centre and they were looking for native English speakers as well. They do come up. It's a case, just keep looking.
just keep looking.
I know. It was getting a bit hot and sweaty in the sun there. If we've missed anything, obviously it was pre-Brexit and things have changed, but if
Yeah.
anybody's got questions about Autonomo and how to get an accountant or anything, just pop it in the comments and we'll try and answer
Pop it in the
as many of
comments.
those questions as
Yeah.
we can.
Or
Yeah.
get us on Instagram. The links for the Instagram will be under this video. So we hope you enjoyed that video, short video. It's probably not short, it's probably
I know.
10-15 minutes long.
That iconic building behind
Yes.
us. I can't think of anything else.
Nah,
But that was it. It's not
that's
that exciting.
it. We don't sit in coffee shops and bars
Or
and
restaurants, no,
all
but
day.
we do, and that's one of the
And that's one of
pleasures
the-
of
yeah,
living here, and that's
that is
why
one of the
we-
pleasures.
The work-life balance.
The work-life balance, the
so
cost of
much
living.
better. Cost
I mean,
of
even though
living.
the prices are going up in Spain,
Yeah.
the cost of living here is so much cheaper still to this day
Still, I know,
than
definitely.
the UK.
Certain things, you know,
Yeah.
but if we lived in the UK, we wouldn't be out for meals half as much as we are
No,
here.
not
Definitely not. We'd also be pretty miserable.
Yeah,
Probably divorced.
not even married yet.
So that's it. Not that exciting really. I work for a software company, tap away on a keyboard all day, a bit like an office job, and Barry works online and works for a Spanish window fabrication company out here as a salesman
Yes,
person.
yeah.
That's it.
So we hope you've enjoyed this video.
I know. Any other questions, just feel free to ask. Yeah, if you're looking for work out here, I'm happy to answer questions and give you my hints and tips,
Yes,
especially with your CV. Quite good at that.
quite good at that. You're that. So on that note, we'll see you in the next video. Hasta luego.
That's the way.